Go ahead, Bruce.
Just start over.
It's up to you.
Yeah, okay, well, when I got on the zoning commission, we were handed this adopted zoning for the first time from the New York State Division of Local Government Services and how to do this. On page 2 of this document, and we were told at the time that this was the Bible that we were supposed to follow. On page 2 of this document, it has the creation of the zoning commission 7 steps. The bottom of the 7 steps, it says this publication discusses each of these steps in some detail, but the Department of State strongly recommends early consultation with the municipal attorney for legal advice relating to adopting the zoning regulations. At that time, the liaison to the zoning commission stated to us that the supervisor and him had discussed it with the lawyer, so we really didn't need to. I asked anybody on the zoning commission if they were interested before that statement. And it was almost a majority said yes, they would like to talk to the town lawyer. But we were told that the town lawyer was talked that we didn't need to do that. So then farther down the road, I got interested in what the town lawyer had to say about the draft zoning law that we handed to them. And I asked Mark about the town lawyer's comments on the final draft zoning law and what they were, and Mark informed me that it was client lawyer privilege. I said to him that the client is the town of Caroline. Our tax dollars pay for this. This is a law that affects the whole town. Total transparency is needed. Total transparency is deserved. And if this is truly the answer that the public can't see the comments, then I am turning in this foil to request those comments. So that I will, then I will make them public. So here's the foil. Here go the comments. Let's turn that in. And then we'll go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. So I'll just mention that, so the consultant we hired did have an attorney working with her. And we are now consulting our town attorney upon the passage of, to the town board of a draft zoning law by the zoning commission. So
Can I ask?
No, that's all, but we can follow up later if you'd like, but not a time for back and forth, but we have engaged the town attorney for review. And
He submitted comments to you about the review? What the review was?
so the town attorney has provided us his comments on the zoning law, and we are now considering those. I mentioned that at the last meeting, so. Yep, but those are privileged, confidential communications between the town attorney and the town board. So, okay, so seeing nobody else for privilege of the floor, and move on to speak with Evelyn Carnes, who has let us know that she would like to serve as a representative to a Caroline representative to the Joint Youth Commission. Velvet, can you unmute Evelyn?
Hello.
Hi, Evelyn. Welcome.
Thank you.
Great. So thanks so much for joining us. So I guess I would just ask if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience with the Joint Youth Commission and so why you're interested in this position. So
Sure. So I moved to Ithaca 10 years ago. I moved to Cayuga Heights. And I joined the Joint Youth Commission in 2016. So I've been serving on it for, I guess, 7 years now. I'm currently the chairperson of the commission. But about a month ago, we sold our house in Cayuga Heights, and we are now renting a house out in Brooktondale. So it just worked out really nicely that the Caroline representative of the JYC resigned a few months back, so we have an open spot. So I would love to continue my work with the JYC, but now represent Caroline rather than Cayuga Heights. Just a little bit about me. I am currently a preschool teacher at the community nursery school in Cayuga Heights. I have my master's in social work. I've worked a lot. I worked for years actually with Challenge and employment, which is a really good kind of match with the JYC, because in the JYC we're mostly focused on youth employment. I have 3 children of my own, but they're all adults, and that's pretty much it.
That's great. Thank you, Evelyn.
You're welcome.
Do you have any questions for us, or I guess I'm interested in, well, if you do have questions for us, that'd be great, but I'm interested in if you could give us a sort of snapshot of the JYC and what it does.
Sure. So the JYC is a multi-municipality group. Our municipalities are the town of Ithaca, the village of Lansing, Caroline, and Cayuga Heights. And we receive funding from the county and from the towns. And we fund now 5 different programs that are all focused on youth employment within the community. And it's particularly interesting for Caroline because many of the programs that we fund are well, pretty much all except for rural youth services take place in Ithaca. So there's, it's difficult sometimes for youth from Caroline to get to these programs. So as a Caroline representative, I think I'm going to be kind of thinking more about that and how these programs can better serve the people in our community. Yeah. I do have a question for you guys, though. In the past, has the JYC representative come to the town board meetings? How involved have you guys been with the JYC, and what do you expect from me?
Oh, that's a great question. So I would say not often, usually at appointment and then occasionally for an update.
Okay.
So I certainly would invite your attendance as often as you'd like to come and give us an update.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be wonderful.
All right, that's great. Probably we tend to do kind of like an annual presentation to each of the towns, just so that everybody knows what has happened in the last year. And we usually do that in the spring. So I will definitely plan at the very least to come back, maybe in March or April and give you guys our spiel.
Great, that would be wonderful.
And Mark, would I contact you to set that up?
Sure,
Okay.
that'd be great. Or yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
And questions from others?
I mean, we have some youth programs for the community centers that you might want to reach out to them.
Okay.
And there are the camps in the summer, and there are, they have dances, they have different stuff going on there. So that might be a good way to connect with that group of people. Those people who are involved with the community centers often have young kids who are setting up, like the Halloween party.
Right.
That's my fun.
Okay. Also, I do want to let you all know that we do still need another Caroline representative. So if anybody is interested, or anybody knows anybody who's interested, we definitely are looking for more people to get involved.
Great, thank you for mentioning that. That's great. I think we're all interested in any updates along the way on programs that affect or that are would benefit Caroline youth, so.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Any other,
yeah, it's the place we really need energy put in, so.
what's that?
So it's an area that we need energy put into. I'm really glad that Evelyn is stepping up here. That's
Great.
just great.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. You know, there's very different challenges in rural areas versus, you know, more suburban or urban areas. So it's an interesting change for me.
That's great. Thank you, Evelyn. I'll just mention that Kate Kelly McKenzie is our representative on the county youth.
Right. So maybe we could talk sometime, because
Okay.
yeah. I'd like to talk with someone who's grounded in this, and you seem really grounded in it. That would help me a lot. So
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, well, Mark has my my email and I'm sure my cell phone as well. So you know, feel free to get it from him and we can set something up.
that'd be great. Okay,
Great.
look
Thank you.
forward to it.
Thanks, Evelyn.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And with that, I'm going to offer a resolution. I will offer a resolution as follows. Resolve, the Caroline Town Board hereby appoints Evelyn Carnes as town representative to the Joint Youth Commission.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Kate. Any further discussion? No? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Great. Thank you. Thank you, Evelyn. All right, now I will move into reverse and give my supervisor's report. So I wanted to follow up from our last meeting where we held a public hearing on the shared services plan that we've developed. So at the recommendation of the county's Government Operations Committee, and this is just meant to clarify what the proposal is intended to do and address some of the questions in a general way that were brought forward at the last meeting. At the recommendation of the county's Government Operations Committee, 4 public hearings on the 2024 shared services proposal for countywide emergency medical rapid response to New York State were scheduled in addition to the public hearing that we held on September 6th. Hearings will be held in Newfield on Thursday, September 28th, Lansing on Thursday, October 19th. Excuse me.
Need some chocolate?
I need to drink of water.
Okay.
Okay. I think there's a spring up here.
I have some water in my car.
You have something else to wait. Person is up one. A big one.
Yeah, very lovely.
She's beautiful. She's a rescue from the farm. Where they get, because they have puppies.
Friend of mine worked at the vet school. I ended up with a couple
Beagles.
beagles. Yeah, there's a beagle.
Oh, it's
Up in it's like Nichols and Danby, and you can hear them baying.
Hustlers, right? Usually she's chasing him there.
I think it's really great, and she does not have to play with you. She really wants to, but she doesn't play fetch.
Mm.
She'll play tug of war. She doesn't, you know, she's.
Is your dog named Daisy?
Daisy.
That's what my dog's name is.
Really? Her name was Eileen, and she kind of slipped on the stairs, and I said, oops, a daisy.
No, no.
That's funny.
And
I didn't realize how common the name it was.
Wow. Somebody must have thought it was a nice name for a big dog.
I think I'm back. Thank you, everybody. Okay,
Yeah, found it?
ready to go. So
Did you get water from the spring?
I did.
Okay.
I had to wait for a couple of people though, so. So at recommendation of the Government Operations Committee, we scheduled 4 public hearings. We had the one here at the last meeting, and there's going to be another one on Thursday, September 28th in Newfield. One in Lansing on the 19th, and at the county legislature on Tuesday, October 3rd. The shared services proposal is constructed to demonstrate how the initiative will result in cost savings to taxpayers by comparing the cost of the countywide plan to what it would cost collectively for each municipality by each of their fire departments to put in place either their own rescue or their own ambulance service. The countywide emergency medical response proposal is designed to support existing volunteer rescues in providing emergency medical first response during the day when many volunteers are not available. The shared services proposal is to fund a 1-year pilot program, which will allow us to reevaluate and make adjustments going forward. Companion bills have been put forward for state support, and cost sharing obligations for municipalities are yet to be determined. So the numbers in the draft proposal were not did not represent municipal cost share for the countywide shared services proposal. So that's that. The Ecruz Road Culvert Project, I'm very happy to say is now complete. And we will now be working to close out the grant for that project. That's a DEC Water Quality Improvement Project grant for stream connectivity. Moving on to broadband, county broadband. The county has released the RFP for an internet service provider to provide countywide high-speed internet service to underserved and unserved addresses at no cost to municipalities. And then locally, we are continuing meetings with Hunt Engineering on the feasibility assessment for Caroline. So it's a dual, 2 fronts on the broadband front. I want to report, and Cal was there, you may have comments to add on the Agriculture Committee met on the 14th of September. George France, planner from Cornell, presented his analysis of Caroline's land use laws, 2018 site plan and subdivision review, 2021 solar energy siting, and November 22 draft zoning law. His review focused mainly on conformance with ag and markets law, primarily for the draft zoning law. He concluded that no major revisions are needed. Several minor issues he identified were also identified in the courtesy review we requested and received from Ag and Markets, and those have been addressed. And the board will be considering his additional comments. I met with Haley Delisle, which is she is one of the sustainability coordinators for Tompkins County, along with Terry Carroll, to discuss a proposal that she mentioned to seek countywide EV station provider. So I believe the idea would be to have sites throughout the county that a single provider would provide and service. So, and as some of you may remember, we did interview an electric vehicle service provider recently. And so I'm hoping for something like that, where they hold responsibility for administration, installation, and then revenue share, so that we don't have to do that. So anyway, we've invited Haley to the September 28th Tompkins County Council of Governments meeting, and she's going to attend and update municipal leaders on this concept. I obtained proposals for video security at the town hall and town offices from Ace, and we also got a proposal from Spectrum. And so, and we've asked for a proposal from our phone provider, Comcor. So, and we've also gotten a proposal for the comprehensive lock work at both buildings from Ace Security. So we need to consider those and move forward. And then work on the 2024 budget's underway. So if you have thoughts about that, send them to me by email or whatever, so we can consider them, and we'll discuss them at future meetings at the budget workshops and stuff. So send any recommendations you have. So. Okay, so any questions or comments?
I have a couple questions. Is there still a small balance due on the East Road project just from going through vouchers? Or was that,
I think that's it.
that's it? Okay. Is there a place where I can go to learn the lingo on emergency medical services better? Because I sometimes get confused with ambulance rescue, you know, just the definitions, and I just get confused. And is there a good spot where I can, versus just going on the internet and giving me a, you know what I mean, Rick?
Yeah.
I just get, you know.
Sit down and talk to Kathy next, she's been for knees and that for years.
Well, ambulance is transport.
Yeah.
The only one of those that's transport is ambulance, so.
Okay.
So
Whatever, I just find myself getting confused, and just if you
Maybe
could
Steve-
suggest somebody, I'll go talk to Kathy
Yeah.
next.
well, yeah, and maybe Steve, the guy who was here last week, what's his name? Steve?
Mike
Mike.
Mike Steadley.
Steadley. I knew there was a stop there
So
somewhere.
Kathy's a lot easier, she's.
Mike-
Well, Kathy's right here. I just thought he might have a list of how he uses the terms.
Yeah.
So,
that's it.
yeah. He might already have it
Yeah.
written down, so.
I know, I guess we're gonna be talking about it with the best thing, but are there, and Rick's here, with more, but you talked about the EV charging stations, with more EV vehicles on the roads and accidents, are there concerns and risks for the fire companies in the town?
You know, that's not on the agenda. I don't even know where to begin to address that.
I don't, so, you know, it came up, you know, we talk about, you know, the EV stations. And,
Well, yeah,
you know, it's
We
So
could look
something
into
that's
it.
out there.
So
I haven't heard of anything. I mean, you know, I haven't either. I haven't heard of all the chit chat. I've never heard of like cars catching fire when they get into an accident or anything like that.
I think, I mean, there are procedures for how to deal with electric vehicles. Isn't that right, Rick?
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I've seen some training videos on them and stuff like that. But all these cars, even though they have a similar purpose and function, can be set up differently. And from a rescuer point of view, where do you get into the car? You know, and so there's some differences there that have to be addressed. It all comes under training, but we don't get enough of that to.
has that something that you've done for Speedsville?
No.
I mean, associated with
We haven't
Speedsville?
had a car fire up here.
Oh.
Electrical vehicle, but it could be, next one could be N79 one. But if you're gonna get scared, go look on YouTube and get some of these videos of vehicles burning and just burning.
Yeah, because I can't put them out, but I haven't heard it. Have you heard of things happening at charging stations?
Yeah.
I personally have.
So that's kind of what we're talking about, right,
Yeah.
at charging stations.
Yeah,
No, I
but
thought
I
it was
guess for
accidents.
me, I'm maybe not quite a structured person, and you know, one thing gets me thinking about another, and
Mhm.
you know, we're talking about battery storage things, and people talk about cars as being better, you know, mini battery storage units, and you know,
Well, in EMT training, it does get addressed, like when you're doing extraction procedures and like they'll do a brief unit on like, here's how to use the jaws of life and stuff. And they tell you like in certain vehicles, you can't cut through like the side rail from the windshield because, you know, there can be electrical conduits running through those. So EMT, most EMTs and a lot EMS personnel do get at least a modicum of training in that extraction procedure. The problem is that, like, we're firefighters and stuff where they've been a firefighter for decades, right? They would definitely need to like have some more current training because all the EVs are so different from the other.
I'm not sure, yeah, I'm not sure how this is town business here. I mean, that this is about training.
So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we can shift over.
Yeah.
Or just saying, you know, that if they request more training for budgetary things, we should certainly
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
I don't, whatever.
I agree with that.
It just, I mean, the people that come here are interested in how this town runs, and I'm interested in how this town runs.
But I want to keep the agenda
Yeah,
focused
I-
on the agenda, so I'm happy to discuss these things at a future meeting if we think they
Yeah.
deserve placement on the agenda, so.
I mean, I guess I'm a little worried that bringing that kind of stuff up brings a sense of alarm about having EV battery stations or something, and they're not related. I mean, they're related in that they're electric
We're charging
vehicles,
stations, yeah.
right, the
Yeah.
charging stations, but there aren't reports of fires at charging stations, so I think we should focus on the charging stations since that's what's on the agenda.
Yeah.
If we're worried
For the
about
storage
training for the
system.
fire department, that's a totally different topic.
Well, they're all tied together in my mind.
I guess not in my mind, so
Yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of linear, I guess. I mean, I
Um,
just kind of like to keep.
I just-
I mean, are we
Yeah.
talking about the battery energy? Are you talking about the battery energy storage systems law that we're gonna be talking about in a second?
Yeah.
Or were you thinking about,
Actually, we're not going to be talking about
we're
it.
just introducing it, the fact that, yeah. Yeah. I mean. Yeah, I'm gonna be quiet.
I mean, it comes down to how we, you know, as a board decide we want to run meetings, so,
Yeah.
you know, I think from my perspective, you know, meetings should, you know, be, efficient and,
And I want to just sit here and talk, and you run the meeting, and it's good to keep, but I just,
no, I appreciate that.
I'm just a little more free form and you're a little more structured.
Yeah, I just don't like things to get confused.
Yeah. Yep. And this is the sort of discussion I like.
Okay, because I think people hear that and they say, what? If we have an electric charging station, we might have fires. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? We better train our.
Yeah.
You know, which isn't what we're talking about.
And I mean, I guess I was speaking to the, you know, the bigger well, not bigger issue, the more wonky issue of meeting process that, you know, we'll revisit like every January when we start for the new year, we talk about it, like, and so we can decide how we want to run meetings from. And certainly so if things that aren't on the agenda at this meeting come to mind that, you know, we want to propose for the next meeting, then we can prepare for those, so. That's my opinion. Did you ever there? Yeah, you had some other questions, right, or?
No, I think that did it. You know, EV hazards on cars and Ecros Road.
Okay, great, thank you.
I'd be glad to talk to you about EVs after the meeting.
Okay.
Did you have any other comments on you attended the?
No, I think you gave an accurate and fair, you
Yeah.
know, representation of what was talked about.
Okay, great, thank you, Cal.
And, you know, the other thing, well, I guess one thing, Mr. Franz commented on how there was new agricultural enterprises springing up in places where, you know, maybe it was something else a generation or two ago. And, you know, there are new agricultural enterprises springing up in the town.
Yeah, he looked over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Kind of on his own, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a separate thing, but yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
That's cool.
but again, you know, yeah, agriculture isn't dying, there's new sprouts coming up and
I hear this.
may
is
they
a
grow
lot
and
of stuff.
flourish. Yeah, and you make sure we don't squash them.
That's right.
I hear there's a lot of sunflower seed production going on.
Yeah,
That's kind of close to home.
yeah. So, anyway,
Yep, good. I'm glad you mentioned that. All right, town clerk's report. Do you have anything from the town clerk's office? Velvet?
No. She's just been, she's back on her normal schedule of Monday through Thursday, 8 to 2. She's been working on the foils that have come in and all the other necessary, clerk things. That's about it. I think she's been doing a great job.
Great. Thank you, Velvet.
Yep.
And thanks to Jesse. The code officer did send us a report. Did people have a chance to look at that over? It was, I think, the permits. Any questions about that? No?
You have a question?
mhm.
It seems like we're still not getting those reports when people are building out in the hills. There, we did that for years, and we were able to get a report from the zoning officer. I've talked to guys at the fire company, they haven't seen any in several months. So we just touch that again, make sure we're on the list and get notification for our part of the town.
Have you spoken to Cliff about it, or have you? No.
I don't, it's bring that down. I know there's a couple new places being built up on Black Hill, but we haven't been notified about it.
Okay, I noticed those too. Yep, okay, thank you. Let's
Mark?
see.
Mark,
Yes.
who just made that comment?
That was Rick Morgan.
Okay, I thought so, but wanted to check. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And committee updates, any committee updates?
Nothing from me with highway or cemeteries.
Okay. So I am introducing, I'll move on to the next order of business. Introducing the battery energy storage systems citing local law. That was crafted after a NYSERDA model, and a lot of the work was done by Will Lawrence and Bill Padoka on the planning board. And it has been reviewed by the town attorney. And so that draft is now introduced and available on the website. It was linked in the meeting agenda. It's on the local law page as a introduced local law. And it is now introduced in that form. So at this point, at the point of introduction of a local law, that's when the board is putting forward a draft that has been agreed upon, worked on, and now it's presented to the public. And so now we will set a public hearing to hear comments from the public on that. And then move forward from that point. So I would propose that we set the public hearing as I indicated in the draft resolution for the October business meeting. And I actually realized there's so I do want Tim asked if we would consider moving the October business meeting
All right.
to the Thursday, the 19th.
Right.
So I will offer a resolution to do that, which would mean we would
Forgotten about that.
make that notation in this resolution as well. So I will offer a resolution, to set the public hearing for the battery energy system siting law. Resolve, the Caroline Town Board hereby sets a public hearing to hear comments on our proposed battery energy storage system siting local law for Wednesday or for Thursday, October 19th. I'm preceding to at 7 p.m. at the Caroline Town Hall. So do I have a second on that? Second by Kate, and any further discussion? So
I have one question. How many of these are you planning on? You gonna have one for each of the solar fields? Are they gonna have over in Varner for their solar fields and all around?
a battery energy system, I mean, we're not planning any, it's just when they're brought forward. This gives us, the town, the ability to review the installation, the system, so. But it's not a master plan for battery systems in the town. Is that the question you had, Rick?
I started glancing through it this afternoon, and I thought that because you already had an idea of where you were gonna put one or
Hmm.
how you were gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's why you won't always trouble to develop a law.
No, this is just anticipating the future, that these things are gonna become more common. So I did ask the code officer, he said, he does have tier 1, the smaller systems, that he inspects now, so those smaller systems are going in, but
So are they going in at the local solar fields like out in 76 Road?
I think these are, I'm not sure, but my understanding was,
You know where the hell they're at?
these are homeowners, these are residences, these are just private residents.
Okay.
Yeah, because people who have solar panels will have a battery to store it in and then use it later. I think that's what you're talking about,
Yeah.
but I don't know, because I
Okay.
haven't really talked to
I
them.
thought it was a
So
bigger thing, they talk about separate buildings.
I think this addresses bigger things, but.
Yeah, so that would,
Yeah.
you're talking about the tier 2,
Okay.
level one, so, yeah, but I don't think we have any of those yet. Let's see, so, any further discussion about setting this public hearing? No? Okay,
It's fine.
We just need to change the date.
yeah, I know, I should have done it in reverse order, but I'll do it next so that we don't forget. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Right.
aye, opposed? Great. And did I get a second on that?
Yeah.
I did.
Kate seconded, okay, sorry, short-term memory, not so good. So that's Kate. And then I will offer resolution to change the date of the October business meeting to Thursday, October 19th.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Kate. Boldly, and any further discussion? All in favor? Aye,
I,
opposed? Great, thank you. All right. I will offer a budget adjustment resolution. Resolved, Caroline Town Board hereby makes the following budget adjustments. $6,250. That increase the revenue account A3097 state aid grant funds, and the expenditure account A8020.41, that's planning, ag and farm plan. So this just makes space in the budget for the initial funds that the state provided for the ag planning work.
Okay.
Mhm.
So And then the second budget adjustment is $1,736.45. Increase 3089 NYSERDA CEC grant. And A8989.41, the NYSERDA CEC expenditure line for that grant. And that's just to accommodate the remaining grant allocation from NYSERDA, which we received the final payment, so.
Good.
And do I have a second on that?
I'll second.
Seconded by Michelle. Any other questions or concerns? So, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Great, thank you. And then I will offer the following transfer resolution. Resolved, the Caroline Town Board hereby makes the following budget transfers. $34,374.99 from A230 Highway Barn Reserve Fund to A1620.44 Highway Barn expenditure account. And that's to pay the bill from Labella that we received.
That was a whole bunch of stuff like geoengineering and surveying, just for Kate. and
Yeah,
Michelle's
that's pretty-
really-
Yeah,
It's happening.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
it is. $1,000 from A1620.4 Town Hall contractual to A1620.41 Town Hall IT contractual. 21,000 from DA 5142.1 snow removal personnel services to DA 5110.1 general repairs personnel services. And 500 from DA 5130.11 machinery personnel services overtime to DA 5130.1 machinery personnel services. So those last two are just moving money around in the personnel lines of the highway fund to pay the wages and benefits, so. So those four transfers, do I have a second?
That's right.
Seconded by Cal. Any further questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Great, thank you. All right. I'll offer a resolution to approve payment of the audited vouchers with the following totals. For the A fund, $91,053.36, DA fund, $251,996.04, and the streetlight fund, $326.43.
I'll second it.
Cal second. And I thank you. Are you the one that found the,
Oh, I always look for sales tax.
that's great.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, you found a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't, I found one, but, or two, but that was great. So good catch. So all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Great.
It's a small thing, but the next time we have electricians here, the photo sensor on the light that shines on the flagpole doesn't work and it stays on all day and it doesn't.
Okay, we had that before, right? So I think they
Okay,
cleaned it or something, is that right? Or,
well, it needs more than a cleaning,
okay,
just. I mean, it seems senseless to have them come out just to fix that.
yeah,
I don't wanna try to do it.
So the flag's left up all night with a light on it?
Well, it's lit up all day
With a light on, I know, just,
I don't need
I'll put it
that.
on
Is it
and
also
off,
lit
because
up
then
at
somebody would
night?
have to take it down.
Yeah, it just bothers my frugal nature when I drive by at noon and see the lights on
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah,
and the sun's out.
good point.
So a couple of additional items that I will add or offer for discussion, the budget workshop. So for the next meeting, we would have part of that meeting be a budget discussion.
Good.
Because I should present the tentative budget by then.
Okay.
Okay,
And again, as I said, if you have ideas in advance that I can incorporate into the tentative budget, then.
So the agenda meeting we'll be looking at,
Part of it, yeah,
okay, good.
I think so. I think that's what we did last year and it worked out pretty well. Great,
Mhm.
okay. Any other items for tonight?
That would be-
Did you, I forwarded the proposal from ACE for
Mhm.
the lock work and the video cameras. Should we go ahead and authorize that? Or are we ready to do that or?
Or is that something we talk about putting in the budget for 2024 or? Just want to go ahead? and
I
do
think
it
you're
now?
just talking about the locks and not the security system,
Oh, okay.
but the locks.
so the amount that they quoted was just for the locks?
No, it had them both mixed. It was mostly the video security system.
Okay, yeah, like
That
the
was 7,200 or something.
Right, thirty, and the lock for like less than 500. It was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
changing the
in that range.
locks. Yeah,
I mean, it seems like a lot of money to just. I mean, where would you get the money from to just authorize it now? Do you have, it seems like it would have to come in next year's.
Yeah, I
we
mean,
have money budgeted for,
I think for the video security, we
Okay.
should wait till we
Oh.
get the Comcore
yeah,
proposal and then we can discuss
Discuss
that at
Yeah.
the next meeting and then make a decision
right.
on that.
Mhm.
I think for the lock work, we could go ahead and that's something we've been.
It's only like $500 or something.
Got to,
Yeah.
yeah, a few $100.
So it
It's
seems-
something we-
500 might be high, I can't remember exactly. Hold on.
I thought the whole thing came to like 7,000 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't.
In terms of security and safety, at some point I'd like to talk about. Jessie, she sits in the corner, I mean, you put up a door alarm, and I think that was a good first step. But she sits kind of in the corner, it'd be nice to have a line of sight to the door.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And same for the library, cause she's tucked around the corner. You know.
Oh,
a
is there a
little-
mirror there?
where the table is. I just think anybody that's working alone, that's there alone in a office should have line of sight view of the entrance door. The court clerk here doesn't know who's coming until they poke their head. I mean, they may hear, I don't know, I just think,
Well, if we have a video security system, there'll be a monitor and they
and then
can see
the,
that.
yeah.
Right,
And maybe that answers the question. But I think I see the court clerk tucked around the corner, doesn't, worst case scenario, doesn't know who it is until they poke their head over the top of the Dutch door.
well, one thing they're gonna have on their computer, and once the cameras
Right,
come in,
so
they'll see it.
maybe this
so-
will,
Yeah,
but like right now, we've got, and then with the town clerk, she back and,
Yeah.
somebody comes in the door and she really doesn't know who it is until they come up to the window.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we talked about it, maybe making a new window to the
Or whatever, just, I think that's.
side of the other one.
It's just something I'd like to see done in 2024, be it if it's a camera or rearranging the room or. And I think it's been kicked around for a few years and I'd just like to see it happen in 2024.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Yeah,
If a desk gets rearranged or if a camera gets put up so that they got a little dedicated monitor, they can, as soon as that front door opens, they know.
yeah,
Here
I
it
agree.
is.
So we're gonna wait for, what's it called Comcast, the phone people, they're,
we requested a video proposal. I mean, we're gonna put video cameras in.
right, we're gonna put video cameras in. But we're waiting for the
Yeah.
other proposal before we discuss it, okay. All right,
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
So I agree with that. Yeah, Jesse and I have talked about it.
Yeah.
We could, I know the librarians use a mirror
Yeah, they do have a mirror,
to see,
but I just,
and I mean, that for them, it would be a matter of moving the desk over to the entryway to
Yeah.
face the entrance. I'm not sure they would be in favor of that, but
well, and then there's the little bell thing that's on the leg of the desk and. Well, just.
we
Maybe.
can always, if we, with the video cameras, we can put a monitor
Exactly,
in the librarian's office as well.
yep,
So that would be easy to do. Great, okay, thank you.
I mean, every day I look at a newspaper, I mean, I just can't, I find it almost unbelievable, the stuff that and it just, not that I think it's gonna happen here, but it just leaves me
Yep,
shaking my head.
great. Anything else?
We've got a structured meeting here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I think that's good. So,
Are we gonna talk about getting the keys done tonight then, or can we? approve
oh
that?
yeah, I didn't follow through with that, but shall we authorize the key work? We have the proposal, from Ace.
Yep.
Seems like we should, right?
Yeah, I think we should authorize the key work and get it done,
Okay,
so.
great,
Do we have to vote on it, or do we just say,
we could,
all right,
I'll second it.
okay.
okay,
So Kate offers a motion to authorize the key work from Ace Security, and Michelle seconds that. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Great, thank you. All right. Anything else? No, okay. I'll offer a motion to adjourn,
I'll second that one.
second by Cal. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Oh, there's somebody that's been, iPad's been waiting.
Me.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to see who's online.
Oh.
Who joins online,
Oh, I
Okay.
see.
that it's not that important.
Didn't I already let you in once?
All right, what?
Didn't I already let you in once?
No.
Oh, I had an iPad